Welcome back everyone, this is Weird William. Today I will be doing a disc farm tutorial, as well as a tutorial for a filter that can get those creepers out of a general mob farm and put them into the system where they'll fall and be shot by the skeletons right here. So first I will be talking about how it works, and then we will move on to the build itself, how to make it. I should say also up front that if you're looking for maybe just 10 discs to listen to by yourself, for yourself, then maybe you might want to look up one of those easier builds where you just kind of lure creepers out of the wild into this little room and you flip a lever and trap them, and then a skeleton shoots at you past the creeper and kills them. That might be an easier build for you if you just want a few discs. If you're looking, on the other hand, to sell discs maybe on your server or give complete sets of them to all your friends, then this will be the build for you because you'll get many discs after AFKing here for a while. So on this side we have a skeleton who will have to be name tagged in survival, and he's shooting through this half slab gap through the space where the creeper will be landing. Some of the arrows are lost right there, but most of them do go through. And then some of the arrows come through this half slab gap and get pushed up by these water elevators into the top over here, into these half slabs. And as far as I can tell, none of the arrows get through. I've never seen one get through. I've AFK'd at a build exactly like this for hundreds of hours, and I've never had to replace the iron golem. So that shouldn't be a problem for you. Once you get this set up, it should just run. And the discs are collected down here. You can send that hopper output wherever you like. But you can put it right here. If you'd like to have the skeleton stop shooting, maybe, you know, this farm is in a place in your base where you can hear the skeleton shooting constantly, you can flip a lever right there and turn off, or rather cover that gap so the skeleton can no longer see the iron golem, and it'll stop shooting. Now, over on this side, we have the filter system. So you'll have input from a mob farm over here on this water stream, and then down here they'll come through this area where you can see there are these almost too wide gaps on the sides, or too tall gaps rather. This trapdoor is making them slightly less than too tall, and so the only thing that can get through these spaces are creepers and baby zombies. If the baby zombies get through and fall in here, that's fine. The half slabs on either side ensure that they won't be able to attack the skeleton in retaliation. They'll just die along with the creepers. If you would like to sort out those baby zombies, or if you'd like a more comprehensive mob sorter, you can add this feature here that I had to kind of reinvent because the mechanics of certain mobs either sinking or floating has seemed to slightly change from 1.13 to 1.14. You used to be able to have just a single layer of water that would go across, and everything except the undead would just kind of bob along the top and go over this gap, and then only zombies and skeletons would sink and fall out the bottom. I've noticed now that even all the other mobs will get stuck kind of on here. They're still floating in the water, but their feet are getting stuck in this gap and they don't progress unless you add this second layer of water, in which case the zombies and skeletons will now sink and fall down the bottom, and everything else will float across. So you can either have them fall down here where you're maybe using villagers and cats to sort the zombies and skeletons if that's what you're in the mood for, or you can just have another water stream that carries them over and inputs them into this kill drop that could be right here for everything, you know, the witches and spiders that are still getting through. The creepers, of course, are then shunted to the sides where you can shunt them around and maybe right over to drop down in here. You can have a water elevator that lifts the creeper up 16 or 17 blocks high before dropping it in. If you want to have them be one shot by the skeleton, it's optional. And then this lever here will push the trapdoors down, making it less than 1 block high on either side, so nothing will get through. This is a way to shut off this farm if you decide you have enough discs. If you undo the lever, then it starts up again. You can, of course, have this redstone leading from farther away if you like. You don't have to actually get in and access it from here. I've pulled out the relevant bits from this build right here so you can see the setup for this creeper filter. Where you'll have water sources here coming down 8 blocks to the end where they dump, you know, the excess down here, and then water streams off on the sides that will be guiding creepers down onto these red paths here with the pistons and trapdoors above them, able to shut off that system as you like. One final thing I'll mention is that if you have mobs falling from about 5 blocks or higher than 5 blocks from above this water, they'll all just be falling through. They'll start falling fast enough that they'll all fall through the water. So if you're looking to, again, separate those zombies and skeletons, you have to have kind of a secondary input from maybe up here or a little lower, where the mobs will all fall down onto this too tall mass of water, and then the creepers will kind of dip down and swim back up and then float over the top. But any higher up, like I said, they'll just fall straight through. Okay, so let's start building this. I'll show you how to make it. Let's knock out a block here and build a spot for the skeleton to stand on. I'm just using these color-coded blocks for your frame of reference. You can use whatever you like. Now let's go out 5 on either side here. If you're feeling paranoid, you can make these out of obsidian. That way, even if the creeper explodes, you'll probably be fine. But if you do it right, if no one messes with this, then you can build these out of any solid blocks. Put a chest there, and put some hoppers in here, leading into that chest. Over here, we'll put one right there, and one up that's flush with the rest of this platform. Now we're going to build a little kind of cupola over here, up 2 on the corners, and then across on the top like that. Let's fill these in on the sides with glass, so it makes a nice little scene, nice little view of the creeper dying. And then we're going to put half slabs on the lower section of either side here. And that's pretty much all set. We can maybe put glass over here if you want to see the skeleton. I'm not going to cover how to get a skeleton into this space. You'll have to be creative with that. Maybe pull one out of your mob farm with a minecart. But however you'd like to do that. If this is outside or has any chance of getting sun, you got to put a half slab or some kind of block that's solid over the skeleton, or it will burn first time the sun comes up. Over here, let's knock out 5 blocks of soul sand, or of sand, and put in soul sand here. I'm building this in the desert just for fun. And that's going to be where we have the water elevators pushing those arrows up so they never hit the iron golem, even if they try to come straight through. And just fill that in with glass. Actually, leave a space there for that piston. And we're going to fill that with water and then put half slabs on the top. The half slabs are there because if you don't put something for those arrows to impact above the water, the arrows will just float there indefinitely. They will not despawn if they haven't hit something, and eventually you'll have hundreds of arrows and 2 FPS, and you'll be sad, and everyone will be sad. I found that out the hard way, so cover this with half slabs. For the iron golem, we're going to put space like this. Now you can have it come out either side, but it has to be 2 by 2 in the middle to get that iron golem in there initially, and then a space up like that. You can, again, glass this, or you can just fill it in with solid blocks, as long as there isn't a way for that iron golem to get out. And so that's the structure of it right there. Let's go fill in the water and get the pistons and all the mobs in there to make it work. Now I know some people like kelp to build up water elevators, but I think with this few blocks you don't really need to worry about that. So let's fill that in here like that, so that block will shift over and cover that gap. And then over here we want to build this up actually one higher, put the half slab like this, and that will block any water from going through there. And then you can just fill in this water right here. You may for this want to put in a block and then break it, and sometimes you have to kind of monkey around with it. There you go. Now you won't even have to deal with the water kind of getting in that space. Or maybe you will. Let's see. Either way, let's cover all of these spaces here like that. So, you might need a bunch of water buckets, but I think it'll be all right. Let's see if we can get rid of that water again. Maybe not. Either way, it doesn't matter a lot. Just my aesthetic preferences. But then again, when you pull this lever and push the piston across, it should just block that off anyway. Let's put that piston there. Let's see. Yeah, so no harm, no foul, even though there's water up there where it's not really needed. And then, of course, we want to put half slabs or blocks, something for those arrows to impact on the top. Over here, you'll want to, however you want to finesse this, you kind of got to build an iron golem on the edge here. And then just kind of nudge it in there. Come on, buddy. Don't have to name tag it. No. Where are you going? So you can see the issues. You don't even have any villagers. Oh, no. Okay, let's try that again. You don't even have any villagers to help. Where do you think you're going anyway? You totally want to be in here, don't you? Get in. There we go. Now over here, the skeleton actually will not always see that guy. So I've taken the liberty of putting a skeleton in here. Now he's shooting. But this iron golem can wander around and actually get on this side where the skeleton will stop shooting. So what I've found is temporarily, if you take a piston over here, and actually you want a regular piston, not a sticky one, and stick that over here, and then just push in a glass block right there. Get rid of this, fill this in, and that will hold the iron golem where the skeleton can see it. And then you can fill the rest in there as you like. So there we are. We have that set up. His buddy's wandering around, but hopefully you won't have to fail multiple times getting the iron golem in. But this is ready to receive some creepers and collect your discs. So let's get on with building that setup to filter the creepers out of your mob farm. Now, right before we get started on the sorter, let me at least show you a proof of concept here. So you can see the creeper falls in and he is getting shot by that skeleton. He will die. Over here, if we have creepers falling in from up here, they'll kind of bounce down. Oh, that guy actually fell through. So you might want to have it be from a little bit lower. But the vast majority of them will get picked up and float along down. They'll be diverted into these side passages. If they miss the first one, they'll probably hit the second one. You may lose, 10% of the creepers down through the middle, but the vast majority will be filtered to the side. And then if you have anything undead, zombies or skeletons, they will just sink right down. Whereas witches and spiders will, again, like the creepers, kind of bob back up and float along. I'm not going to put a spider in here. They just get stuck in the glass and die, and it's frustrating to test spiders out, but they do float on through. I'll leave that up to your imagination. Okay, so let's start to build this thing. So first you want to designate a kill drop. It has to be 2 by 2 at least to get those spiders. Again, assuming this is coming from a mob farm. And up from there, we'll want this platform that's 2 by 2. Again for the spiders, and it'll have to be 8 long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you'll want to come in one, build out like this, and then build out like this so that you have this structure. The creepers will be coming out the sides along here, and again on the other side. So you'll want to have this kind of structure, and then of course you don't want the creepers mixing or falling down there, so you'll have that separated too. Now on these first side blocks, let's just build up like this, and actually let's go like this so we can put the pistons on. So we're going to want sticky pistons there. Can get rid of this part. And then, so these are 2 tall gaps over here, and then we're going to put a trapdoor against the surface of that sticky piston like that. So that then when we're pulling this down with a lever, it will be blocking that water. Let's get a lever here. Put that on, put on some redstone down the middle, and that'll be closing them like that. Now let me fill this around the sides with glass and add on that back area as well. Since you'll probably be digging this deep underground, I'm not going to make you watch me fill all this in with glass. So here we go. It's got walls. And so actually for this setup with the water, if you want to fill this in, what I'd recommend is you fill in the gaps first block that off so the water can't go there. Otherwise, when you put the water source blocks here, they'll just go in these first gaps and they won't even come down the rest of it. So you want to fill it in like that with the water, and then knock these blocks out on the side from the farthest gaps to the ones closest to the water source blocks. And at that point, all of the water should be going in the right directions to push those creepers where you want them to go. Now I've also taken the liberty of building this path that's 2 up and 8 back from this input right here. And so then you want to come in 1 block over, leave that there, and then knock out this 2x2 area. Put signs on the edges here. Minecraft physics says that signs will hold up water. So there you go. And we actually want to put signs over here to block the water from sloshing over as well, because as we're dumping water on top, it'll be going farther than these 8 blocks. So first let's fill these over. Again, in 1.13, this was actually enough of a sorter to sort the undead, the zombies, and the skeletons from all the non-undead mobs. But it looks like in 1.14 we need to do something different. So on this back block, you want to put a water source 1 up from the rest, and then maybe fill this in over here as well. Now this is going to be water that will be sending mobs either in the wrong direction or nowhere, so you don't want them falling there. And actually you may be able to just fill that in all the way, like that, and then have the mobs falling down here. So let's give this a test. Let's drop some creepers in. So yeah, the creepers are falling down again, maybe even no higher than 3 or 4 up. You know, you might want the water stream from your mob farm coming in here and dropping stuff down here. But the creepers are getting sorted like that. And let's get, say, a skeleton. Try them out. So if they fall down here, they are going to sink and fall right down there, as well as the zombies. And so to see this whole system in action, I've connected this initial thing up to the disk farm here. So we're going to say some creepers fall in here. They bob up. They come along. They come in the side passages. And witches and spiders. So yeah, we're missing 1 every now and then. It's going to fall through the middle. It's not a perfect system. But you know, it's good enough to get a whole bunch of discs. So now we've connected this up, and they fall right in, and they will die, and they will drop their records, their discs. So with that, I think we're all set. I hope this is helpful to you. It's very customizable. You can set this up with things connecting from wherever you like. But again, thanks for watching. Take care, and I will see you later.